March 2026 belonged to East Africa, not because the world was watching, but because the region moved anyway, so with purpose, with intention, with a sound that refuses to stay contained within borders. This is Vizen magazine's March Music Roundup. 5 releases, 4 countries, 1 region proving that the conversation starts here. Let's start where Tanzania starts, with Diamond Platnumz. When Diamond releases music, East Africa listens. When Diamond releases music, the world eventually follows. Happy, released March 21st, 2026, is exactly what its title promises. A vibrant, joyful anthem that celebrates success, growth, and the kind of confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are. But here's what makes this more than just another hit. Diamond has been building something for over a decade. He didn't just make music, he built an industry. He built WCB Wasafi. He built a pipeline for Tanzanian artists to reach global audiences. Every time he releases a song, he's not just dropping a track, he's reminding the world that Bongo Flava has a home, and that home is Tanzania. Happy sits in that tradition. It's celebratory without being shallow. It's commercial without being empty. It's Diamond at his most comfortable, and when Diamond is comfortable, he's at his most powerful. The world already knows this name. East Africa made sure of that. The second story from Tanzania this month is different in energy, quieter, more personal, more human. Harmonize and Kajala Masanja, 2 people whose relationship has played out publicly, painfully, and now beautifully, released Wiwe this month. A love song, a reconciliation in sound. Kajala is not a musician. She's an actress, a public figure, someone whose life has intersected with Tanzania's entertainment world in complex ways. But here she is, on a song with Harmonize, the man who proposed to her earlier this year. Wiwe means you in Swahili, and that simplicity, that directness, is what makes this release culturally significant. It's not just a song, it's a document. It's 2 public figures turning their private story into shared culture. That's what East African artists do that the world doesn't always notice. They make music that is deeply personal and deeply communal at the same time. Wiwe belongs to Harmonize and Kajala, but it also belongs to everyone who has ever loved someone, lost them, and found them again. Now we cross the border, from Tanzania to Kenya and back again. Finale is the collaboration East African music fans didn't know they needed. Bien, Kenya's most sophisticated Afro-pop voice, a founding member of Sauti Sol, teams up with Alikiba, Tanzania's most soulful male vocalist. 2 heavyweights, 1 Zouk-inspired track, released March 25, 2026. What makes this significant isn't just the quality, though the quality is undeniable. What makes it significant is what it represents. East Africa has historically been fragmented in its creative output. Kenya here, Tanzania there, Uganda somewhere else, artists collaborating within their own borders but rarely across them with this level of intentionality. Finale breaks that. When Bien and Alikiba step into the same studio, they're not just making music, they're making a statement. They're saying, the East African creative conversation is borderless. That's the kind of collaboration Vizen exists to document and celebrate, because this is what the region looks like when it moves together. Rwanda doesn't always get the credit it deserves in East African music conversations. But this month, Rwanda reminded everyone why it belongs at the table. I.K.Clement, a producer and label head who has been shaping Rwandan music for over 2 decades, stepped out from behind the curtain this March with his legacy album. The standout track Bella features Bruce Melodie, one of Rwanda's most beloved voices, alongside a stacked lineup of regional talent. Think about that for a moment. A man who has spent 20 years building other artists' careers, nurturing other people's sounds, creating the infrastructure for Rwandan music to grow, he chose this moment to present his own legacy, his own statement. Bella is not just a good song. It's a reminder that behind every great music scene there are people like I.K.Clement, the architects, the builders, the ones who work in silence so others can shine. Rwanda is not a footnote in East African music, and I.K.Clement just made sure you know that. And finally, Kenya's quietest statement this month, 226, a name you might not know yet, a voice you won't forget once you hear it. Wewe ni wangu, which translates to "You Are Mine," is a romantic R&B track that sounds like it was made for global audiences without trying to be global. The deep voice, the smooth production, the emotional directness. Critics have already drawn comparisons to Giveon, the American R&B artist known for his rich baritone and vulnerable songwriting. But 226 isn't trying to be Giveon, he's trying to be himself, a Nairobi artist with a global sound and a local heart. And that's exactly what makes him worth watching. East Africa has always had voices like this, voices that could sit comfortably in any playlist on any continent, in any language. 226 is one of them, and March 2026 is when Vizen first put his name in the record. 5 releases, 4 countries: Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda represented through Joshua Baraka's continental sound. This is what March 2026 looked like from East Africa. Not a region catching up to the world, a region setting its own pace, telling its own stories, building its own legacy, one release at a time. At Vizen magazine, we document this, not because someone asked us to, but because East Africa's creative culture deserves to be seen, heard, and understood on its own terms, in its own voice, with the full weight of its own excellence. This is what we do. If you want to go deeper into East African music, fashion, and visual culture, subscribe to Vizen magazine on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Vizen magazine, and stay close because the region is just getting started. East Africa, Global Archive of Influence.